a lot of stuff that you know about that you can't say that's going on,
Yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything, yeah.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold on 1 second, let's stop it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. So we'll start off with Amanda update. Where we are in this so far.
So the drone looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So been doing a lot of great work up there with our staff. Traditional, just want to give a little update because you're doing better than you right now. What's going on, Shed?
We have, I would say, 90% of the stormwater mitigation has been installed. The new road is brought all the way up to the last stormwater facility up at the top of the hill. The ponds there to bring the new PVC water main up. We'll be doing in the next week or so. And moving beyond that point, we'll start to strip off topsoil where the cabins are gonna go all the way up the top of the hill and then complete the driveway around the proposed bathhouse site. Got some new guys up there learning from some of the seasoned guys, so it's good to see everybody coming together, doing a really good job.
Good.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the budget a little bit. I went through it this week and made some changes to it. So what it was is, since we're not paying for labor, I backed out the labor on some of its quantities. Because we're not paying for it, so I don't.
Just materials.
Yeah, we just pay for materials, try not to. Look bigger than it actually is, okay? So, the first page is a summary of cost.
Oh, I didn't get
Anyway,
one of those.
the summary of cost. And I reduced contingency from 30 to 15%. I thought 30 was a bit excessive. I don't think we would have spent 30% contingency. Because we should. Okay, so I backed down to 15. So, if you, at the end of the day, it could potentially be a $2.7 million project if everything was exceeded. I did get a good updated number on our electric, because the original budget is about 2 years old now. So it was about 276, it's about 325 now in 2 years, which doesn't surprise me with the price of copper and generators. Plat PVC, like a 40 foot, a 20 foot length of 6 inch PVC right now is $50. It's really not cheap, so. And I've adjusted the rest of the prices, so we could come in around 2.1, somewhere in that range. 2.1 million at the end of the day on all these costs. The one thing I left alone was the septic, because I still haven't got back, said it's approved. Just wait for that information to come back about the actual. And that's what I looked at well now, but
Was that roughly?
that is in site utility, yes, sir. Yeah, I read, hey, that's in site utility. So we spent about $250,000 so far out of this, I'll say 2 million. And we have a retaining wall that will be ordered. Well, it is not, it's kind of review the plan that they sent back for the picture. It's correct before you go and set. That is something Joe is doing from MRB.
Yeah.
And we're going to start putting the rest of the water main to the top, and then remove the cabins and stuffs. We'll probably have the sub base of the road and the water main in. Probably by the end of the year, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure by the end of the year. That's just gonna leave us next year, the paving going up to the hill. And there's not per se to a utilities Italian, because right now we don't have a bathhouse which we haven't approved yet or discussed on the final design and layout. That was something that has to be still discussed with the board on, are we gonna spend this money on this bathhouse, or are we just going to get plumbing to it and hope we find money to pay for it? Cause that's not in this budget number, Dave.
Yeah,
The bathhouse.
And that's, I
Bathhouse.
think the cheapest we were looking at was $500,000 or something.
Yeah, I think we crunched the building down
Yeah,
quite a bit. I mean. We also did a grant application. so,
Right.
you know, that might be. 50% of that cost to the town, if it can land that grant.
so Jim, do you think there's any benefit to buying conduit wire now, even if you're not gonna do it, just so to try to avert any cost increase?
Well, we definitely need to put it underneath the road.
Yeah,
We
folks, you can do that now
we're-
anyway,
We
yeah.
need to put that in so
Yeah.
that we're not coming back.
And
We
dig it.
would leave stubs.
Yeah, I'd rather-
I would rather, if we could, at least get all the conduit in the ground.
mhm,
We haven't got pole wire, but have it in the ground so we can get everything restored.
right, but if you think wire's gonna go up, we're gonna buy it anyway, should we buy it now and,
We're gonna put this out to bid.
yeah,
Yeah, cause it's,
so we can't do it by before on,
no,
yeah, no,
we're gonna have to put this out to bid, this wiring, cause it's at 300,000.
yeah,
325,000, so. But to solicit bids for this, so that number came from O'Connell Electric, so.
Mhm.
And they've been doing, I feel very comfortable with them, give us a good number. So, when it goes up the bid, who knows what will come back at,
yeah,
but that was a good budget number for us to use for. Figure out how this is gonna cost.
Could you say again, how do you get down? You said it could come in around 2.1 million,
Right,
just without the bathhouse, all that stuff.
correct.
From 2.7, how do you get to 2? What would happen to get down, have to happen to get down to 2?
contingency,
Well, contingency was, I reduced it correct, 15.
Yeah, but you got that in there.
50,000, so.
250,
And
then,
then we also have numbers in there of asphalt with labor that I haven't backed out yet.
So
I
it's
left that
labor.
alone on purpose, cause I don't know what next year will bring for asphalt price.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be on the side of conservative with a number in the event that. Who knows, with the term elections next year, what could happen with the oil,
yeah,
but you haven't backed the labor out of this yet,
not out of the asphalt.
okay? But that's. The asphalt buried in here someplace.
Yeah.
Our site
Yeah,
is under,
a new access road,
Thirty
like
feet.
30,000 or,
yeah, so in B, C, D, E, and F all have asphalt, and G all have asphalt in their lines.
Okay,
but the big one's D, right, it's like 60,000 or something.
Big one's D, and then the your site utilities are big, and I left the number that MRB gave us for the original septic because I haven't bid any of those, whatever their
Yeah, those chambers.
chambers are called yet, that they want installed, because we were late for final design or
Yeah.
approval from DOH, so.
And I think we're at a point where like everything's all set with those guys. I think you just need
I
to talk
think
to
so.
Cecilia, so.
But-
And then we should be able to get an approval from those guys.
so just in round numbers, how much money do we have versus this 2.7?
So,
Probably. We have around 800,000.
Yeah, so we've got,
so it's disappeared.
put that in soon. So total. We have 4 right now remaining in the, from ARPA funds. It's showing 468, 725, however, I'm not seeing, so looking for here, I'm not seeing that the 82,000, whatever it was. The concrete order hit the account yet, so if. The purchase order may not. Be put on that right account yet.
That's for the retaining wall.
This retain wall, yeah, the
Yeah,
retain,
So it's
Yeah.
we're potentially under 400,000, if I find where that. That PO is under right now. But then we're gonna be transferring that 396 in, so with the 468, if that's accurate. 396, we have about 864, 725. Or just under 800,000 if that 82,000 isn't showing up on here right now.
so, next spring, we'll chew up a few 100,000 in paving. Of them, of all the pavement that's back up there. You got another potentially 325,000 if we decide to go through with the electric. And then the sanitary, so, I know we have that amount of money, but it's not necessarily gonna go far just due to the expense of purchasing all this stuff.
Well, it's not gonna complete the project.
It's not gonna complete the project.
So what I'm trying to get is how much more do we need?
So if we have 800,000, I'm saying 2.1, you're gonna need, just say $1 million more.
Then in that area. Oh,
Right.
okay.
So it's either a million or if we can continue to apply for grants
Well,
and hit any
Yeah.
of these grants, then.
Well,
we
yeah,
can-
but I
we can
mean,
cut that, but
that's
like
what
the
we
worst
need.
case, yeah,
It's a million.
is a
Yeah.
million,
we need it either out of us or grant money,
right,
which is still out of us. So.
yeah,
Right.
Right.
but it's not a lot of.
No.
More of us.
We can keep the current bathhouse the way it is, just because until the new one's built, that one can stay in place. So we don't have to spend that money to fix the septic right now, it's already there.
Yeah.
Okay, but the road. The underground utilities, we could hold off on electric, because electric still is in operation. We gotta do something better than the tarp over it, but.
Yeah, I kept everything in the back, that's far, just in case.
Just in
All
case,
the-
but the
old-
small building, we
Yeah.
moved, we got rid of it, but
Yeah,
we've left it there, we've tarped it up to keep it protected from the elements, but
turn it into a temporary service.
yeah.
Do we have I mean, this is really. The park on the ground stuff. So if we want to replace cabins and. I kept trying to remember, do we have a grand total for, adding new cabins and, we got one, but we want to knock down.
Yeah, they're like 40,000,
Yeah, they're
45,000 a piece,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you go to ADA accessible, they're like 60,000, so.
So that's. And this work is really.
Yeah, that's
Site
completely
connect.
separate from.
Right,
all this.
That's budgeted, right? But I thought she's been budgeting for that.
No.
No,
I think I thought she was budgeting for.
May have. but
Yeah. I
Not-
thought there was one more on the books.
No, not-
There's one that we own,
one we-
and then I thought there was one that was in the budget somewhere. No,
Not for this year and not for till 2026.
right,
Goodness.
so. In the spring, once we get paved. It'll be usable to get up and down and things like that parked up there, but.
Yeah.
And we'll have a cabin up there, but it depends on, if we put a cabin up there, are we gonna run power up to it to operate it? And if so, from where? My point is like, as Dave said, we need to spend this now, or can we wait? You have this cabin now going on 3 years that we haven't been able to use. Do we power this and connect it so it can be used?
I would say yes.
I would say yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, that cabin will be desirable, I would think. And you'd probably be able to rent that thing out. Help the revenue side, so.
I don't necessarily want to answer, I want you to think about, do we need a generator? And that's an expense in itself. We've never had a generator before it on the,
People are camping.
understood, I just put it out there, it's like transfer switch to generator, that's another big expense to deal with.
Also the bathhouse for camping, you gotta smell.
Say what you're saying, Terry, but
No,
I
I
don't need
mean,
an answer now,
some
I
of those
just want
things
you to
are,
think about.
like a generator could come later,
Yeah. So
Well,
you have to put the transfer switch in first though, right? I mean,
yeah, you're gonna
there's-
have to put it in, and it's
Yeah.
all exterior, so,
So is any part of the septic pumped?
no.
No, so it's all gravity?
That's
Well, I
correct.
think good
Would
news,
you-
is progressing well against, projections of what we do this year, so.
If we have the funds to do what we gotta do this year, get it done.
And the work is getting done, thanks to the weather.
Right.
Cooperative and all, so.
If we land the CFA grant for the park grant. I would say bid the bathhouse and the electric all as one contract, or it's close to dead.
Well, that'll be over, then we're going to get the primes.
Yeah,
It'll be over 500,000.
Yeah, it'd be GC, EC plumbing,
Right.
HVAC, yeah.
We all know what that cost.
Yeah,
What do we ask for then? Grant, so we,
I think we asked for the bathhouse, but we also asked for a larger bathhouse.
Yes.
Our potential grant award might be more than what we would be spending. So the question is whether or not we can add in other amenities, and I would think that they would
Be
allow us to
okay
do
with
that.
that, yeah.
I mean, they gave us a lot of liberties when we did outhouse, for what they were able to pay first, so.
I mean, maybe that's the time to look at a generator if that grant comes through, at least to put in the transfer switch. You know?
Right. Yeah, or maybe that's the way to break it out, is this
Yeah.
transfer switch and generator,
Right,
or just put in with that.
right.
Well, generator, we don't have one down there now, on the site anywhere. And they duly,
Has it been an issue?
The only reason why that generator was put in is if, once those are 4-season buildings,
yeah,
you lose power, you lose heat, stuff freezes.
yeah.
So that, I think that's part of the reason why it's kind of like it's a safety net.
It's an insurance policy.
Yeah,
Right.
you're just trying to avoid potential problems, or I mean, lose power and I don't know how long it's out. You guys have to scramble and sort of, de-water buildings,
With propane heaters in buildings.
Or
drain.
try,
Right.
yeah, I mean.
Good, you don't wanna be burned.
Wasn't out for-
I would say, like, in the old days, yeah,
Well,
you'd roll in with a kerosene heater, right? You can't do that anymore.
Couple salamander. Okay.
I'm sure you thought about it, is the site gonna be buttoned up for the winter, any strong storms that could cause problems as far as
Yeah,
erosion and?
we're past a huge hurdle now. We have the road up to a point where we can continue working and not have to worry about mud and things like that. Everything that we've started from the bottom up is getting stabilized as we go. So I don't know how
Taking
much
a grass
draft
ground.
growth we're gonna get from this point on, but it's been hydroseeded at the bottom. There's check dams in the drainage swales, there's silt fence installed. You can always hit it with a winter rye or something like that.
Yes.
Sure, just to
And
make it
the
strong.
actual crowds themselves are
Rain on-
stabilized.
Yeah.
They've been growing grass all summer, so.
The wells, the lower, yeah.
They'll have grass on them, so in my opinion, stable, so.
You won't get mud washing off there.
No,
Yeah, we don't want that.
no, that's the last thing.
Don't worry, Murphy would be out there.
He will.
Yeah, we've got our inspection every week.
When, is the grant announcement for it,
Should be like at the end of the year.
end of this year?
Yeah.
That and we have stuff, right?
Yeah, just whatever, everything will usually happen sometime after Thanksgiving and hopefully before New Year's.
Christmas.
So just to clarify the budget, the PO's in under the right account, but for whatever reason, it's not shown as encumbered, so it's more likely you got $777,725 after we put in that other 360 amount, whatever, so, so in this actual ARPA account right now, it is 68725 minus 87,000. 381,725. From the ARPA funds, 381,725. Yeah, I gotta see why it's not showing up as in the activity. I'm sure we missed the.
There's something we didn't click.
Yeah, I'll have our new finance clerk take a look.
That's fun.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else on the park? Okay, North Road update,
North
sounds
Road,
like it's going well.
it went well, it went half done, it will open November 12th to the public. So they're finishing up temporary asphalt for all the driveways on the south side of the road today and Monday. For people to get in and out, and then they're gonna clean up the sidewalk. I believe on Tuesday, make sure, actually there's more people walking that than I expected. Especially older people walking that.
Sidewalk?
I'm just saying.
Nobody was ever gonna use this.
Right,
It's just,
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd
they're just walking on the stone.
They're just walking on the stone,
But there's,
they're happy with it.
every time I've come out there, like there's at least 2 people
There's
walking
people
that sidewalk.
walking that sidewalk.
Most people that said that the one.
Nobody ever uses, nobody ever walks this or whatever.
We go back to people, John, we say, hey, with faith.
And nobody walks it ever now because they don't wanna get run down by a car.
Exactly,
Uh,
that's good.
the transition came out good, it's really. It's a little bump, but nothing terrible, and from the old road to the new road. They're gonna clean up the soil, but stabilize and. Be out of there, so.
I drove it the other day.
Yeah,
I said,
I drove it the other day. It
looks really good.
Yeah,
So they're
let's-
basically gonna hit their winter shutdown and then basically they're not looking to really get started back up until maybe April. They might start, there's some things they can do on the second phase. I think they might do some of that potholing, try to find the gas services and the water services to see where we might have a potential conflict with the new storm sewer. And then also the road box out, so, but aside from that, probably be off until April and then. They sent us their updated schedule, and of course, their updated schedule goes till the end of 2026, like December 30th or whatever, you know. But based off of what the progress they made this year, the next phase is actually a little bit shorter. And it's easier, there's less driveways.
Driveways.
There's really no intersections outside of east.
Nope.
And the storm sewer is a lot shallower, so once you factor all that in, I'm like, I. Basically sent it back the submittal to them, so I'm like, I'm not changing the contract dates because. I'd rather see us finish up in October. Than sit here and do this all through November, like looking at the weather and being like, can we get asphalt down? Right, so, I think that's, so. I didn't get any pushback from them, but I think. Holding the contract dates is good. One, because it doesn't mess up our budget, your budget, right? But generally speaking, I'd like to hold them to that, so, and then the other things that. Want to at least touch base on is, it looks like with the, unclassified excavation, we're definitely gonna overrun. That quantity, part of that's because. I think somewhere. Either right before bidding or right in bidding, I think we were asked to push the driveways into the unclassified excavation. But for whatever reason, we never updated that quantity for that. For that additional excavation, so. We're gonna have an overrun of like probably somewhere between 2,500 to 2,700 cubic yards. So that's about somewhere between like 70 and 80 grand of an overrun. But offsetting that. There's like the temp inlet. The job trailers and some other items that. Generally, I think we're gonna net out to pretty close to even. On overrun versus underrun. It'll be pretty close, it might not be exactly, so it might overrun by. 20-30 grand or something like that, on the whole contract, but. I think in general, we'll probably still be pretty close to what the contract amount is. We're just projecting that out, so.
That's even including contingency money?
No, it's that contingency isn't in the, we have allowance in that project number, there's still 80 grand left of that, so I mean. Just that alone offsets the overrun, I'm just looking at just like the
Right.
unit quantities
Yeah,
themselves.
okay.
So, take that stuff out of the equation, I know we're underrunning on temp paint, so we're not gonna use it. Like I said, the job trailer, that was like almost 40 grand, so we're not using that, and then, we're not using the temporary inlet, that was like almost 20 grand. So I guess my point is, I'm giving you bad news, but I'm also telling you there's other things that we're gonna underrun, so.
Hope to balance it.
So it should balance itself out,
Yeah.
so.
Always good if you can do that.
So there's, the other thing too is, with the gap and when they're gonna start again. Gotta look, I gotta sit down with Jim still, and the finance clerk now, just make sure we've got all the expenses covered up to date, and whatever their last payout is gonna be. And then I think we should be able to take the chunk of money we have remaining, it's just still gonna be. Several $1 million and put it into like 90-day CD, 120 CD, whatever
make
they're
some
gonna
money
start
off
back
of it,
up. To gain some interest off of it too.
Yeah, I would say if you could do that for December, January, February, and March,
Yeah,
that'd probably be the way to look at it. So. Cause if they have, even if they have a payout, and say they were able to get start in March with like pipe demo. Like the storm pipe demo, they're still gonna wanna do that stuff probably outside. The road limits, just because we don't wanna get in cutting asphalt.
Right.
While plow season is still a
Yeah.
potential, right, so. It's my point being is it's probably gonna be a relatively small amount of work. That could potentially be completed outside of, the plowing season.
We just go slow pay.
Well,
I mean, no,
contractually, we do have to pay.
well,
within a
it's
certain
not,
time
hey,
frame.
check is in the mail, you know what I mean? You just delay it a few weeks or something.
90-day pay.
It's always done to me in business, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got our bank people coming in actually, so CMB coming in next week too to meet the new finance clerk and get her set up and stuff, so I plan on talking to them about CDs.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we score some bucks on it, that money's just sitting there, we
Right.
let it go to work for us, so. Good. The path that people are using, the stone path, is that something that any our kids using that to walk to school?
I
I
just rode my bike on it one time, and it wasn't during school time, so yeah,
I'm just thinking about winter and.
to plow it.
No, yeah, exactly. Now,
It'd be hard to
plowing
plow.
the stone path.
Can't plow the stone.
Yeah,
Like,
hard to plow.
I
Can
think
you pack it down or, do something so it's still usable for,
It's probably
Not
better
without
to
risk,
out there, yeah, I think.
not without risk.
Yeah.
So I would say the official position of the town is it's closed.
Right,
If somebody's using it, I mean, it's not like someone's gonna go out there, take it out and say, hey.
no,
But I guess I would say from what we say to everybody should be, it's closed, right? It's not. It's
someone
just
chooses
too much
to walk
liability.
around.
and if people are walking on it, we're gonna probably hear, they wanna plow, also.
Yeah.
Say, it's just not, it's
It's not,
closed,
it's
right.
it's
Like,
not.
no,
Oh,
it's
send them all their letters that they need to maintain.
well, it's called they're not gonna plow, but if they choose to use it,
Yeah, that's
it's on
fine,
them.
I mean, there's no snow or no ice.
Yeah.
Not
Right,
gonna
They
plow,
can still
right.
use it, yeah. Okay.
Jim was talking about pouring sidewalks, that's not gonna happen?
So
No, I didn't hear that.
they were
That's
going
accurate.
to do it, and then I think what happened was Pooler's schedule got bounced from Nardozzi, so. It was like they were supposed to be coming in the first week in November, and then it was like the second week in November. And then there was a lot of back and forth, between me and Chad, basically trying to outline, like, look, you're getting into
Right.
cooler conditions.
Right,
I'm like, here's ACI's winter concrete recommendation.
Right.
So you have to keep the concrete at 40 degrees
Right,
Yeah, that's,
while it cures,
Right.
right? So I think that's what chased Cooler off. They're like, we don't want a blanket, we don't want to buy this stuff. So they just said, we'll just wait till spring.
yeah,
Do it all in one stretch.
right,
That's what I would hope they're not going to though.
No.
They're gonna do phase one sidewalk and then disappear and then come back, after the curbing is done for phase two and do. That's, so they're gonna, I mean, that was my point too. I was like, why not just wait, just do all the
have
sidewalk
everything,
at once,
all the
right?
equipment's here.
Like it would make more sense if I'm Pooler, it's one mobilization.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
Be to everybody's advantage.
right. That's what I. Means and methods, man. There's some things that I can do, and then there's some things that I can't really push them to do. So, but
oh, no.
the good news is, like I said, I think the most difficult section of the jobs is done.
Good.
So everything else moving forward should be a little bit easier outside of maybe the first, I would say, like 500 feet from the low point, working our way up, because the storm sewer's got to come up. While we're coming up, that's where I think we might see conflicts. So we'll have to kind of deal with that when we know. But if they pothole, we should be able to kind of like plan for it. So
Potholes?
they'll go ahead and they'll pothole for their back truck to get an elevation, and then they'll backfill it, bring it back up. So, but they're basically just
I thought you meant installing potholes.
Yeah.
yeah, no, those, yeah, we shouldn't see potholes on that road for quite some time.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, the asphalt looks pretty good.
it
Oh,
does, yeah,
I think in general, like it was,
Given the conditions, absolutely.
yeah, I think everything kind of went, I mean, I guess it's not an A++, but we're definitely a low A,
yeah,
so it's.
Well,
they're
for all
pretty good.
the weeping and gnashing of teeth last spring over
Oh, yeah,
contract choice,
it's worked out though.
working out well.
yeah, and honestly, like outside of like I would say like the first few months, I think were like really intensive for MRB.
Mhm.
Like we hit our CA budget hard because there was so much back and forth with those guys. But once everything got settled, things are starting to fall in line. So,
Well, it's because of that, and it's because of the concern we expressed.
mhm,
I think that first, with that first bidding, taking it to the second bidding,
right.
I think that impressed on these guys. You're gonna hold your feet to the fire.
I
Yeah.
think, I think not having a certain individual on the job
Well,
site
yeah,
is
that
That
also.
sounds like that was the
It's
problem.
that is like the biggest thing that I think changed, because even if you've been out there trying, yeah. I mean, the operators, like everyone who's out there working, the laborers, what, like everyone's working together, there's not a lot of like. Bickering is whatever, which, you know,
Yeah.
after I talked with Chris Day. From Ontario County, said that was part of the problem, was just like, there was like a real disconnect between. That guy and the people, and it was just, everything was confrontational, so.
Yeah,
Well, that came
you
out
know,
of all of our,
Yeah.
because of our concern that way.
No, absolutely, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it took a lot, I mean, like, our
Oh, yeah.
burn rate on CA was not, like, it was heavy
Yeah.
in those first few months. And I would attribute a lot of that to that, because there was just so much back and forth.
Yeah. It's good, good. Working out. Water master plan, as long as you're talking, start talking.
Hang on, let's do that one later, let's do that
Yeah.
later, is there something else we can talk about?
Anybody?
So,
The
Ryan,
last meeting, I think you said by the end of October, we'd have it.
yeah, so,
Do you have it with you?
I don't have it with me, so I'm waiting for Ryan to bring it down, so Ryan,
He's
so.
on his way.
Yeah, Ryan's coming down right now, so I was waiting, but like, so they were printing it this morning, and of course, there was 2 other RFPs that are also going out this morning, and everyone's printing to the same printer. So we're waiting for the appendices to come out, and of course, he started with appendix A, B, so he's doing it, but I'm like, I told him like, can we just print out like the important ones that are in the back? Like, it's like, there he is.
Alright. So we're
See, I delayed him just long enough.
perfect timing.
I got it all.
You,
How you doing, Ryan?
with all the money we've given you, you can't afford another printer.
Alright.
I'm not sure whether we're giving him money.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't feel like giving when.
Exactly, there's a certain amount of blood with it.
Right.
We're not gonna go through it, and it's really just where it was. I don't know that, we haven't seen it, so. Good,
Highlight.
give a few executive summary highlights.
Yeah, so, basically what we looked at is, you know, we did a deep dive into the overall, water system. There's a lot of background information in here that's probably Travis.
What, go right ahead.
It would be really good for Travis to really kind of understand, but as at the board member level, I would say that the bulk of this is probably not gonna be really
Right.
relevant to, other than. The executive, the proposed improvements, and obviously some of the costs,
Right.
right, that are kind of there, and so those are the key elements, so, but
Well, what are they then?
so the key elements are, from the executive summary, is basically modernizing the pressure reducing valves. I think we need to get power to them, I think we need to switch from pilot control to spring controlled PRVs for the domestic. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then also improve how we're monitoring, so bringing power to the PRV vaults will allow us to collect more data more frequently versus the Trimble units we have right now that are battery operated. And then also standardize that platform, just get them all so that all the information and data is all going to the same thing to extract it versus having multiple different entities for the pressure reducing. Dual road, I think that's critical to reduce the dead end on County Road 16. The new tank on Smith Road, the reason why the tank on Smith Road makes a lot of sense is that it allows us to take the day road tank offline, and honestly, we might be able to just take the day road tank down and like move it and then build it on Smith Road. So, you know, there's obviously a cost to take it down and move it, but it's still cheaper than
Use the
buying
same
another,
tank.
yeah, use the same tank.
Yeah.
We can, with Aquastore, we can basically just get, if we need a couple more rings, they just build heavier gauge steel panels for those lower rings, so we can get a little bit taller, right? But the other advantage of that is that it turns Pierce Park into a fill station pump station versus the demand pump station, so it simplifies that operation. It also eliminates the need for a Goodell pump station. So,
That would allow us to shut down that fill station over behind A's.
No,
No,
this isn't part of that, but
When I say fill station, I'm talking about like just filling a tank.
fulfill the tank.
Versus right now, it's trying to basically maintain the pressure, so we have like jockey pumps, intermediate pumps and fire pumps. It could really just then be converted to, basically take the fire pumps and turn them into fill pumps.
which should operate so much better for the system overall. To actually have an actual gravity system to work in our town and in Bristol.
And Dave, that was always the plan when we did in Bristol, was to have it filled to a tank, but
Right.
whatever reason, when we did that project, no one had talked to the Warners about getting an easement and. Yeah, they were not gonna give us an easement.
Yeah.
So we had,
Yeah,
you know, we basically had all this money that was committed to the project
Yeah,
and no tank, so the pump station became a demand station. A pressure booster station versus a fill station to a tank, so it complicated the whole district.
hmm
And that's part, that's dollars and cents. There's a lot of efficiency. The maintenance of a demand station is a lot different than the maintenance of a fill station. Because, the fill station, you're only running it to fill the tank.
Yeah.
Versus something that's running 24/7 all the time. Right, so, that's why that's on there.
Well, listen, when we get to that point. I say we, it'll probably be you guys, but. I think you should look at that. Whatever you call it, out as Easter,
They'll say it
You know.
all.
and then just abandoning that road and getting rid of it, cause,
With the fill in, the fill station in Cheshire, yeah.
yeah.
Who
If that
knows,
could be
Pierce
moved
Park.
over to Pierce Park
yeah.
at that time, whenever that is. I mean, we've talked about doing that in the past and. Just, they'd like to take that road,
Mhm.
what's her name,
Everybody.
Yeah,
Literally everybody on the list, yeah.
then we give people a place to park.
Nice
and
bidder.
Open up the opera house there in
Yeah.
Cheshire,
So what's the bottom line on this? Is that you have numbers? or-
hang on, I'm not done yet.
All right.
So,
Flump, you're all.
So the fluff part is like this middle part of the report, like we'll get to the, so then there's also installing THM removal systems, and then putting the aspirators. The surface aerators in Kramer, and then lastly, obviously, we're starting to replace the identified sections of AC main that are starting to go. So those are kind of like your main priorities moving forward. There is, if we go to appendix N. There should be kind of a list of the overall system improvements that are at least contemplated in the master plan. And the Smith Road tank really kind of opens up a bigger area in the southern part of the town. And I know that southern part of the town, they have problems with water quantity and quality. But the Smith Road tank gives us a little backup for the Kramer Road tank. But then, like I said, it also has the ability to simplify Camp Bristol and Bristol Water District 1. So there's quite a bit of like areas here that we kind of evaluated and are in here. But obviously those are all gonna be driven in part by, affordability, people in the district, et cetera. all that
Not
stuff.
heavily populated, so cost would be.
Yeah,
It
so,
would,
yeah,
but there are I'll use like Nap Road, there's gotta be 40 houses on Nap Road.
There's a lot.
I mean, you wouldn't think on Nap Road,
Yeah, I know.
there's a lot of houses
Well,
on
they're
that.
buried back in the woods.
Very back in the woods, but there's a lot of houses on that. And that tank on Smith Road would then feed to the south, this would be a different zone of pressure. But the only one I don't think we get to right now would be probably Ketchum. I don't think there's enough elevation to get up to the top or Golf, but you get to a majority of it. So,
That first section of Smith is pretty densely populated too, as far as.
Yeah.
I do know Smithfield people wanna come in and want the town to bring water somehow out to this area.
if we get water we get a tank on Smith Road. And water out that way, then we can get water to the Camp 4-H as well. Correct. So.
What about
all that
Wolf
kind of
House? Those people are always.
Yeah, Woolhouse is in here as well, although it looks like they haven't updated the map. Not here, I'll have to get this back to them.
I mean, there's a lot of farmland on Full House, but there's.
There
a number
is.
of-
Jump right.
But there's dead ends, there's, and I think there's even a little bit on Moran Road. As well, there's a little bit of density on there,
Mhm.
on Moran Road, so. But it was, a lot of this was basically trying to eliminate dead ends where we can eliminate dead ends. And then, trying to look at, serving, areas down, in the southern area.
If you should just allow just a 6-inch transmission main with some blow offs to flush that main. Just to
Well,
make
so
it
what we could
inspected.
do is we could talk to them about not providing fire
That's
protection.
okay, yeah,
So if we could do it without providing fire protection, then yeah, we could downsize the mains. I think that's something to have a discussion with those guys and kind of see if that's a, something we want to do.
this,
Well, water age is an issue, so I'm like, it's gonna be hard to like, have 8-inch lines with not a whole lot of people out there. The more 8-inch mains we have going to the south, basically it's gonna increase the all water age going to the south. So, I could see that as a possibility.
I'm just, as Dave said, it's not, just cost wise, we can just not do a fire, or maybe you put one every 3,000 feet just for filling a portal pond or something, that's it.
Right.
Not for, just something like that where it can be affordable. So
We have to get, I mean, you gotta get around 10 states, right? So, but the health department can issue waivers from 10 states. So I think that's something we'd have probably have to talk to them about.
Well, okay.
No, they don't have fire protection that way now.
That's what I was just thinking, same
Yeah.
thing, right now, they got, yeah.
No,
They could get
know,
water.
but it's
Yeah,
just,
totally.
they're all, I mean, that's probably the first question they ask you though, with like, okay, you're gonna do a district extension, what's your available fire flow? If it's under 500 gallons a minute, right. So, so I think we'd have to basically work with them to basically say, okay, look, we create areas that are basically domestic supply only and not fire protection.
What's the likelihood?
Don't know, haven't had it, never had the conversation with them, I'm like,
One person.
so.
Isn't that what they have in Bristol Harbor Village? They don't,
It's private.
yeah,
It was
but
put in
yeah.
a long time ago.
you
too.
got hundreds and hundreds.
I know, but it's private.
Well, yeah, but, I'm just saying that.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but. Yeah, anyways, we're not gonna solve it, I just want.
No, it's a good question, and I think it's definitely something worth talking about. But I don't know how I don't know how the DOH would receive that. So
Well, in the hierarchy of things, I mean. Just stuff you outline there, there's certainly. Things we'd attack first, like PRVs, that,
Areas,
the,
dual road.
yeah, I mean, those- something like that extension would be down the list, I mean.
yeah,
Unless there's grant money available, unless
Right.
there's other funding available.
yeah, exactly. So and then I think the other a potential project would be doing Cheshire, but going after a CDBG grant. Because I think that's probably one of the few areas that I think would qualify for CDBG money.
Just because we did the income study yet.
Right, so we know it can get CDBG money, so. As a town as a whole, obviously you guys, you don't qualify, but maybe in a pocket, we might be able,
Yeah.
might be able to use that money, other than that, then we're really looking at like we have money. And SRF dollars, so. Anyways, so this is a draft, I would just say. Spent a couple nights and days probably reading through this whole thing. And then if there's anything that with the direction of the water management is kind of really your first input. If there's stuff in here that we want to pull back on, just get back to us before we finalize it.
Ryan, is that in? Able to be a Dropbox?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
an electronic copy.
I think the PDF, they should have that assembled later today.
Okay.
Right, they
Yeah.
were just trying to print out the hard copies to bring out today,
Okay.
so. But, there's, there's tons of information in here.
Drink the water now.
Yes, sir, you can drink the water.
Oh, that came out.
The
Yes.
hyper alert coming out.
Alright, so. That's that, so, I mean, I think we'd still be, on plan, or at least. On course for adopting this before the end of the year, right, be at the last December meeting.
The only December.
Oh, okay. Sometimes you guys do one after, like to pay the bills, so you can basically pay the bills and adopt this thing.
See what we gotta ram through by the end of the year.
Right?
Yes. Do that. All right, good, glad to see it. Oh, okay, now we're on to,
And everyone else is Ryan, if you haven't met Ryan.
Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
Ryan was working with the water department to go out and do a lot of our crazy sampling. You know, he worked a lot on the water master plan as well.
good, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
This
it.
isn't, no, this isn't like a code or anything, I would gotta do a public hearing for.
Yeah,
No, I think it's an adoption, so I think it just has to be on a regular agenda.
It's not like in our
And then we'll have to do like a,
codes, right?
we'll have to do a seeker document for it for the adoption, so, but it's a unlisted, uncoordinated action.
Yeah, I mean, it's just serious recommendation,
Yeah,
where we are and where we.
yeah, so and like I said, the most important thing to know is that the water master plan incorporates all the changes that we've made. So it talks about, the booster station, the tanks, the interconnection down at the end of Fallbrook, the annexation of, Hopewell, all that stuff is now kind of updated.
A lot's happened since the last one.
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of things.
So the options will be to
Yeah.
approve it, or the 24th or of November, or the 22nd of December.
Probably 22nd.
right,
22nd,
yeah.
What's the?
So what,
17.
24th, they have a meeting, there's a meeting on the books,
17.
17th is the town board meeting.
right? But there's also one that I saw on the 24th, at least it's on somebody sent it to my calendar.
Christmas Eve?
You might be alone.
No, 24th of November.
Oh.
November. I think that's not going,
No,
Good.
that might be an old,
yeah,
that might be last year's that carried over and
maybe, yeah,
this year.
so I'll get you the seeker stuff by the end of this month. So you're ready for
the 22nd,
the 22nd.
yeah.
Again, it's an unlisted, uncoordinated action.
So we just need board approval.
Just need to go, or resolution.
Yeah.
Neg deck and then adopt. Then once it's adopted, usually I think the clerk signs the cover page. For it to be adopted. And then we can talk about like what we wanna, how much of the water master plan we wanna put on the internet. If we want to put it on the internet or not, or whatever, how we wanna do that. I think last time we came up with like maybe a redacted version of it. The post on the internet.
Water's popular,
Water's probably.
it really
Yeah.
is, where they don't have it, it's,
Yes.
I mean, we hear that probably more than anything.
I know, but in previous versions of the board, people were really anti running water main because they felt it drove. Development.
Yeah, correct.
But I think if you look at like what's up on McIntyre. That water main's that district's been in now for what, 15 years?
Yeah, 7, we put that in.
There's 10 houses on back.
Yeah, that's my point,
Yeah.
is like you can see like there's not a lot of,
Right.
it's not like suddenly a subdivision popped up there.
Right, there was pretty much, there's been maybe. One new house, 2 new houses built out there.
So I think the point is, like, when we look at some of these other areas that are kind of in these, particularly in the southern part of the town, it's not going to drive a lot of development. You might get some frontage lot development, but
Well, cause sewers.
right, Stewart is what really drives.
As long as they got their house
Right.
built, then nobody else can build around them.
Well, you tend to be a little worried about farmers with, they're gonna get additional expenses and.
But usually when farmers, when it comes to the assessment for these things, well, there's two different parts of it. One, farmers like the organic farm, they love having the water, they probably couldn't see where they are if they didn't have the water.
Like the grain farm.
Dairy farmers would love to have public water as
Yeah.
well, because cows produce more milk on
Right.
public water.
Right,
It's, that's a fact. So, yeah, but the people that are just, doing soybean or whatever, it's not really gonna impact them, but also realize they get special assessments.
Right.
So like their actual, impact because of the
I get,
water
I
is
have a
really small.
farm and special
Yeah.
assessment, it's still $1,000 for a
Yeah.
65 acre farm, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you got 4,000 acres, multiply that out. It's-
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is
you'll
a
hear from
cost.
Charlie Miller on. I can guarantee that.
Oh, I'm sure.
The big benefit showing it as a huge system efficiency improvement.
Yes.
Would be advantageous to.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I mean, if you think about like how much power we would save at Pierce Park if that was just a fill station versus some of those running all the time.
Wear and tear on components.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. So those were kind of like the things that was my push, was to focus on resiliency and efficiency going forward.
Good. Good, yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, let's keep it moving here, man. As long as you're talking.
Yeah.
Fire station number 2, the oil and good separator, I don't think there's a lot of.
There's not much to do. I mean, I gave him a
I
proposal.
turned it off, I don't know if I put it, yeah,
Is this it?
yeah, like, right,
Oh.
The biggest thing I wanted,
It's 5,000, right?
yeah, the biggest thing I wanted to point out is like, I'm not doing like conventional plans. This shouldn't need conventional plans.
You're going to have to stamp a set of plans for.
Well, we'll stamp the memo that will have the details and the site plan, but I don't wanna go, well, I don't wanna do survey for citing this thing.
How about the board discusses this and then there be with the understanding that we may be asked for an actual more detailed account. That's just how they go. It's just, they don't. That's how.
What would that have to cost?
If I get a surveyor out there, I mean, a surveyor's probably gonna be like $2,500.
I'd say a couple grand for
Yeah.
survey and.
And then probably another $2,500 for us to
It's gonna
basically.
double our cost. essentially.
Yeah, it could easily double the cost. So, but it's replacing it, it's replacing an existing, this should not be that complicated.
Oh, yeah, but it's been.
So,
where it goes.
and part what I was saying was like, I wanna tie back into the existing lateral. And here's the reason why, because if I have to do a new lateral connection, then we have to do a whole bypass plan.
Oh,
So,
think about that.
yeah, no, we just ran into this for Gorham because we were originally gonna core into the manhole to tie in. They're like, no, we want you to tie in a Y. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll tie in with a Y. I'm like, whatever. They're like, oh, and then by the way, we need a bypass pumping plant because you're gonna tie in with a Y. And I'm like, you gotta be killing me.
So
Like, how about we go back to core and get to the manhole? It'll be a lot easier.
I'm hoping we can get through with 5 and maybe just stamp a plan. for
Yeah.
account.
And if we go with the understanding that if it doesn't work, we're gonna have to go a different route, then it's gonna be
Yeah.
double the cost of it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, so, but like I said, I'm trying to do it as cheaply as possible. I'm covering all the steps that I think they should need, but they could come back and be like, well, no, it's gotta be this or whatever, so.
so we've actually put a courtesy out. And the response was, we would like a plan.
So what level of plan, that's the point.
Yeah.
So there is a schematic plan,
That's what I'm saying.
which is really easy to put together, it's just an aerial. With LiDAR or whatever, we can throw on some of the utilities from the GIS, whatever, and then we can sketch
Check
in.
this out.
Like where things, yeah, exactly.
Right.
But if they get into like, you gotta go ahead and elevate all the piping and show all that stuff, like then I gotta get a server. Like so it's,
Well. You gotta do it.
yeah,
We need
Yeah.
it just to get in compliance and then whatever happens after.
Yeah, that's.
They take after the city signs the lease agreement.
That's on here too,
So we're good with this then going on to the board meeting
Yeah,
to
let's see,
yeah,
let's see.
authorize this.
5,000.
5K.
Okay.
Good on.
Chuck and I are the only appointed members of the committee, so.
Yeah, we ought to know what.
You wanna see this proposal?
I can email to you, Chuck. It's on, it was, well.
You sent it out with the,
Yeah,
yes,
all right.
yeah, I thought
oh,
so.
sorry. That's the.
No plan.
Well, no survey plan.
Right.
There will be a plan, it's gonna be a survey plan.
Tabletop plan. Okay,
Exactly.
Good. You wanna, well, let's keep it in order.
Yeah.
This liquid storage tank.
Yes.
Right.
So in the past, the town board has approved the lease agreement of the existing two tanks with the understanding we buy X amount of gallons from Innovative Solutions. And that's what this agreement is asking again, but asking for one tank. And the reason is Travis and the guys this year, all our trucks are now liquid. Okay. And with the two tanks, we have to drain it totally before we can order another load. What I wanna do is add a third tank, so when it gets down to say a third, I can, it's 4,500 gallons a shot. That we can order it, so I'm not empty when we need it and have to wait a week for it to show up. Is the a little more storage out in the barn, back out back, and what it is they'll give us a tank and some pipe. But I'll buy 15,000 gallons a year, which is not as easy to do because. If we, once we have the storage, we'll have 7,500 gallons, so we 2 trips, which we did like 3, 4 last year. What I'm looking for is just to put it in front of the town board to allow me to lease one more tank with the understanding that we do this for a couple of years of 15,000 gallons. The tank becomes ours after.
So it's $5,000 insurance policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Does it having a value? It doesn't. What is the lease per year?
5275.
so, well, there's not actually an
It
out,
says value of, it doesn't say this is your cost.
well, the cost of 15,000 gallons of liquid we buy.
But
Not
the tanks are not.
the tanks are not.
they're
Well, it's
not
kind of
charging
in the price of the liquid.
Yeah.
They're not charging us
Which we'd be
for it.
paying for anyway, because we
Correct.
need the liquids.
Right,
And these are the values of the equipment.
correct, those are
But the
being
equipment becomes ours after.
ours afterwards, like those 2 tanks and pump that there is now becomes ours.
Okay.
And then this next tank will become ours after we finish buying the 15,000 gallons per week.
Kind of a
the
no-brainer,
9 period was
really.
how long?
I think it's a 2-year agreement, 2 years.
3 years, isn't it?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years,
The tanks
For 3
are.
years, you
for
gotta.
3 years, I gotta buy 45,000 gallons of liquid.
But that's for this tank, these tanks we own, we'll be owning now.
We own, yes,
Right,
we own them
yeah,
now after
right.
this date, correct?
No, it's,
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's not,
yeah,
so it's just logistically for us, we're not running out and waiting
Oh,
a
yeah.
week or so
Yeah.
for liquid.
Yeah.
So, cause now, the guys will just push a button and then it's just gonna happen on the trucks.
sounds good, right, Chuck?
Okay.
Sounds good deal.
All right, John, it's on the agenda.
So just to,
I did write a resolution, John, put it in there.
oh, okay.
So I put that in Civic Plus. I didn't do MRB, so I wanted to not get ahead of myself for that. Fire station guidance. I could write that today.
So what's the cost now? What do we?
There's no cost to us now.
Right now.
We already have in the budget to buy through
Okay.
snow contractual. Like,
Okay, alright,
so we don't have to do anything with the budget.
got it. That's what I was just wondering, if there's no budget
Just
adjustment.
nothing, there's no budget adjustment or anything.
Stop sweating, John.
Yeah, I just wrote since a few board members here, like, you're gonna see a bill from Ontario County again for salt. So when we bought salt from Canada, they gave the county a credit of 1,000 ton. So I'm gonna buy that 1,000 ton because we have to buy 1,000 ton anyways, but instead of coming from rock salt, we come from the county. And then next year, at the end of come spring, we're gonna pack that barn as full as we can at $53 a ton. Going into the next year, cause salt went from 53 to 66 this year. Jeez.
And we'll still have 53 in the spring.
So that's 53 till May 1st.
So you pack it.
So we're gonna
before
pack
April.
that, for yes. Yeah, we're gonna pack that barn and get as cheap as we can. Going for next year, so,
So your price for this year is 53.
yes. But our
And then-
contract
and then-
expires this year.
Okay.
We had a 2-year county contract and we are the beneficiary of and we used the PPI for the salt index, so it worked out well for our county.
As American Rock, geared up for more. Just one.
Can't say out
Last
loud.
last time I drove by, I mean, they were starting to build back their pile, but
Oh.
it's nowhere near what it normally is this time of year.
And that might be because they lost a lot of business too. You know, Compass, Appalachia, Morton, missing one more. Cause they got rid of the by New York Salt.
Cargill.
So, oh, Cargill, yeah. Well, what happened to Cargill was, is they laid everybody off because they had no contracts. Well, now they can't bring people back, and they can't make the salt fast enough. So anyways,
For the business.
it's a business.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, fiber optic.
Correct. You may or may not know, the city of Kennedy was removing the old steel tank that's above our pump station on Westlake Road,
It's the only non-concrete tank.
only that concrete tank, and they'll install a new concrete tank. And the city and I have been talking about fiber optic for a couple of years now about getting it up there because one, cell uses a ton of data and they start to slow it down. And real time is sometimes difficult for it to read real time when we're looking for it to communicate through a hardwire. So it's about 4,000 feet from the road up to the tanks. And we discussed, I mentioned to them, I said, can you please provide a cost to us? What it would cost with the contract that you're putting out, our portion of running, our working with you to pay to get a hardwire up to our pump stations. So we can have, well, cameras and better communication in real time instead of relying on cell, especially in bad weather. So this proposal is asking the town to pay for a third of the cost of the estimated cost of 200,000 to get a fiber line from the road in conduit up to the pump station. So that we have,
And Chuck, we talked about this thing like when we're doing the pump station, trying to get fiber out there all the time, so.
so we're looking at $66,667, which is not budgeted next year, but. I wanna bring it up for conversation, because I feel very strongly that it's needed for. Security monitoring and the overall. Communication of data that we pull out of that thing all the time, so we can get it without a windy day, without our modem going down, we have to go up there and reset more than I like.
So is the city in on this?
Yeah, the city's in for 130.
So they've already said yes to that.
They said, they're saying yes to this,
Okay,
yeah,
so we just have to say yes.
we will have to say yes, yes.
So it's costing the city 200 grand.
133,
133.
yeah, and ours.
No.
Said,
If we didn't go into it.
Yeah,
it'd be
200,000,
200 grand.
yeah, yeah.
So they're just getting us to pay.
Well, yes, Terry, they are, but
They just put it in their water rate, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you told us the benefits.
you know, I told you the benefits,
Yeah.
the motor goes down awful.
Oh, Yeah, I agree.
And it won't be, yeah, it'll never be cheaper otherwise.
No. But it's,
And we've looked at this a
No,
couple
that's
times, and the costs have never been this low. So, we could discuss it with the board,
for us to do it, we'd have to pay the 200 grand.
right,
yeah,
So
right,
that's the way it's sold.
correct,
Bargain, you got a full third.
right.
Cause you're a good
And the
sales.
fiber optic still.
I think we just waited out the city long
They'll take care of
enough.
the loose
They were
product.
trying to get us to pay
Yeah,
a quarter
we're
million, like right up,
really-
for doing the booster station.
yeah,
They're like, "Ah, just put it in your project, it's not a big deal."
And. It'll be a big help, especially because I want to get cameras up there.
Can the cost of this come out of,
Solid and water.
Yeah. so it's not in budget.
No, we have
Disruptive.
healthy unexpended fund balance that we could do a budget amendment. When the time is needed, because I'm not sure we're gonna let this out. So it's not like something that's gonna be done in 60 days, okay?
so you need this, a resolution this year for this?
I think, yes, I would like to do that.
I would do it,
for
yeah.
December.
If you could lock in the cost in case, you know.
Right,
Yeah,
some,
John.
Just didn't change.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, I think. You know. Commit to that, but I really think also too, the. Should look, and the city should also look at, maybe discuss with the county some homeland security grants. That they get every year. But the problem is, I mean, it's past deadline now for.
It is, but the county just put. Cause we're sharing their generator, our generator, cause they just put a tower up for SCADA. And they're using our generator to monitor their sanitary. So that might be helpful for the Homeland Security grant that is also.
Yeah.
together.
I mean, I just think that there's potential funding opportunity to look for. I mean, like the worst of the worst, pay it, but there's also, before we do, there's potential opportunities
Yeah.
to get it funded.
I
just don't
again,
know.
this might not start already here. They're just-
Well, and that's what I'm saying, if it's not starting
Might have
every
time to
year,
look
if I have
for it.
time to look for it, if you commit to it, fine, but there might be time to look into the Homeland Security grants.
yeah, I commit to it just to get the price.
right, that's what I agree, yeah,
And then, yeah, cause they're gonna do this in conjunction with taking the steel tank out, that's gonna be out there in the future.
Yeah, there is a IT infrastructure portion of the Homeland Security grant that the county gets. And then there's other ones out there too that are potential opportunities.
Is that only in county level grant or is it?
So it is, but the county can get the funds to do the problem. I mean, it is a water project that covers multiple jurisdictions, or it is water. How that,
It is.
it's critical infrastructure.
Right.
I would think the county would be okay.
interested in,
Yeah, interested, and I know that they oftentimes are trying to find, things to fill the grant to just keep getting it every year, and sometimes we're like. Oh, let's just do this, or, and they sometimes they just put in the same stuff every year, and then they don't end up spending the money, and then 3 years, and it's like, oh. You guys gotta spend this money before it expires. So I just know that, there's money that often they're trying to find stuff to do.
who do we contact for that?
I would talk with, the emergency or. Can't think of the county emergency
The new guy,
department, yeah, John Giannotti, they manage the whole grant. Or one of them.
I mean, if he's looking to get rid of some money, but.
But the.
oh, absolutely, that's great.
Yeah, next spot.
The problem is, once it's already, you have to put in for what you're gonna do, and then, that's what it's for, so what they already put in for. You can change it within certain parameters, but it's a pain in the butt to do.
But they're gonna apply again next year.
They
which
apply
might-
every
So
single
this
year,
might be,
yeah.
that might fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
At least, you're in for 67,
Right.
you can find 20,000.
Yeah. So then I could also talk to, the county administration about it too.
So Terry, do you suggest put this on November meeting? Cause you haven't spoken to the other two board members about this.
I think we should bring it up, talk about it, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Get it rolling, maybe in December, then we.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you,
Commit to it.
I would rather approve it this year.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay,
You wanna talk
Canada
about,
fire agreement.
sorry, just for agenda purposes, town board, we could just put it under
Yeah.
your your
Board
work
business.
area.
Like, there
Right.
to be want Jared to bring it up, and like. I have no problem bringing it up.
I'll throw it somewhere on the agenda. It just won't be a resolution though. right?
No, it's not a resolution, it's just for discussion.
Could we do that at the agenda review? Prior,
Oh, yeah.
new business
Yeah.
or whatever.
Can actually do that.
Yeah, then we could-
There, put it on, either you or me, when we talk about.
Just Public Works, that's a good place for it. Public Works brought up,
Oh, there
Bring
it is.
it up then.
we'll discuss it there.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Works report. or-
Okay. Fire agreement.
Yes, so it's city, it's with us, I've sent it out a few times now, the overall changes, I showed you guys the changes that were made. By the city, most of everything they took out isn't, isn't, I don't think very pertinent to the new contract. I added in a boil water separator, I just talked to Vivian the other day, just to say, you gotta look at that, cause I haven't heard anything back. But I haven't got any feedback from our county, our town attorney yet either. But I think the one thing you wanted to discuss here is that one area where that was taken out by the city with the minimum staffing and. I talked to John more about it the other day too, and. He says, whatever is fine, but I don't, he says, we're at 20. And we're not, we don't foresee going any lower than that, obviously with the new study even. And it is only a 1-year contract too, so to keep it rolling and get going, cause I fear that if we add that back in and their attorney is gonna wanna look more at it again, and I think we'd be okay with leaving it out for the 2026 contract and seeing what happens with this stuff, with their plan with the study. Because in the end, we may also want to increase that too, if their study says we need, to add this many people, then the next contract, probably be the more longer term contract, is probably gonna put all that language back in. That was in the previous contract that discussed having to abide by their other study that says you're to add this many staff over this many years. So I think 2026. Maybe we, keep it clean as is, we should be fine, and then consider how we're gonna work that back into the contract for the next longer term one, based on whatever they plan on doing with their study. That's my opinion on it.
So they're 20 now, that includes the chief, or is it 20 plus chief? I thought they were at 18, that.
I thought it was 18 or 19 as well.
That was I thought it was
I think he told me 20, he said they're at 20 now, so. But.
Well, I think in general, what you outlined is, yeah, it's a 1-year contract, so,
Yeah,
and the city is not. They haven't given any indication really of what direction they wanna move in, that study said. More people, but they've not discussed it as a.
Yeah.
They're putting their budget together now, but I've not heard that they're increasing the number at all.
I haven't heard.
I don't suspect they're gonna increase, I think they're gonna probably work
They're
on,
gonna,
get the study and then. Have all their conversations next year to figure out what's gonna go into their following year budget.
well, one of the things they did say after they got the study was. That. They wanted to take a deeper dive into. The. Assistance. That they give through. The firemen being first responders, enrolling with every ambulance call. And, do we need to do that? Which might say you don't need that number of
Yeah.
firemen,
So
so.
we're also looking at regionalizing.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
talks, I think John has high hopes that by the next
Regionalization.
contract that they're gonna be regionalized, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
But there are now starting to discuss different
Yeah,
ideas at the county level now too, so. So I think it probably is worth, waiting to see what happens before we add anything back in. I also think that too, they are taking on a lot now with the maintenance of this building and having to create their own capital project budget for this building, so.
sit tight.
Yeah,
That's
and
a good idea, yeah.
so it's like, I don't wanna push back too much on things and then them say, well,
Right.
maybe we don't wanna take over the maintenance of the building. So,
we'll just chip away.
I think it's a good balance right now, the
Right.
contract, we're giving a little with that area and then they're.
Getting
And the
off of
oil
that.
water separating and that into compliance before they have to take it over, so I think it's a pretty balanced contract right now that benefits both, so. I just,
If they're gonna take over the building, that's great.
it's probably,
Yeah.
it's probably,
Within,
yeah, sure. It's probably gonna, obviously at this point, it'll be December, agenda that we
Yeah.
see it on,
Yeah.
because, I gotta. See what Chris thinks, there were those few lines that I just wanted him to check on, I read it regarding the maintenance of the actual property around, I read it as. the overall intent of the contract is that they're
They take the site,
taking all that and everything. There was some language that they wanted to leave out of that section. That I just want an attorney's eyes on this, make sure that there's no loophole there that they're gonna come back to us and be like, look, this says you're supposed to be mowing. You know,
Yeah.
but I think it covers that in another part of the contract, and that's probably why. They thought about taking that, their attorney took that out because it is kind of redundant. I see it that way as well. I just wanna get Nadler's eyes on it to make sure he, see if he agrees or not. Because that is the plan. And that's what was discussed with them, and that's how I wrote it up. Our edits is that, we're pulling our mower back. And they're just taking care of all the yard maintenance as well, so.
grass gets over 8 inches deep, we send Murphy out to put it.
So are they plowing too, like snow or stuff that stuff?
Yeah, and that's what we talked about, cause I didn't, it's like I don't see any reason why. Your guys are out, your PPW's out all the time anyway, just send them up,
Look,
The
walk
street
through it,
and-
right, yeah.
do that, and then mow the lawn and.
And it's really not really convenient for the town.
Yeah, and then,
Well, we'll be plowing.
Well,
It's moving their
yeah.
plow, those are what's
Yeah.
up there. We're good. Kim's being quiet here. Leave that one. Good.
I see.
One time too.
Yes.
All right. Excavator sale to watershed, trying to get somebody to pay the bill.
Well, I just want to share.
Oh, is this guy?
Kevin?
Yeah.
We're selling this to Kevin, alright.
Well,
you.
yeah, so.
He's got the money?
So I just. It's 140,000 that we haven't brought in yet this year, it's November, so. And I'm trying to. Avoid questions, why I don't have it. Okay, so looking at this spreadsheet. The first two lines, Gorham and Woodlawn Cemetery, those are out, I don't see that. Cause we've done nothing out there.
Yeah, that's
Wait a
kind of,
minute.
you're talking about for Cottage
Okay,
City,
yeah.
yeah, Cottage City is like,
Our city and
we're
Woodlawn
all hung up
Cemetery.
on. Full relocation.
Okay, that was.
Wait a minute,
What's Woodlawn want you to clean out that brook or something, or?
Yeah, well, because I'll call it. They own it, we'll say, in a sense. There are a lot, we can go to places to do work in Woodlawn, and this is one of them to fix stuff, but. For some reason, the long story short, city has an easement over that thing, which I'm not sure why or how come, but they do. And then it's been back and forth with FEMA on fixing stuff, so I'm not sure where it's at right now, but that was one. Happiest House, we are gonna get paid for, we finished that project, we will see those funds, okay?
wait, backing up those first two, the 17 and the 18.
Yep,
So they're.
When you say they're out, what do you mean? Out?
well, I mean, is we're not gonna see that this
They're not
year.
gonna see,
Yeah, they're not.
they're not
they're
gonna see it
gonna-
ever.
No, I don't.
I don't know about that, but I
Cottage
just know
City, I
that,
think you will, at least a portion of it.
right? But I don't know when we're gonna see Cottage City Terry. I don't know when we're gonna do anything with Woodlawn.
So this is money you're seeking from Kevin,
Correct,
all,
that's correct.
those two items are iffy,
They're iffy,
okay.
okay?
Very quick.
Now, John, for the Sucker Brook. Town of Kendall contribution. We got that joint one, so. He's saying take 25,000 from that and give it to the town. Or that, since it's gonna be used in the Sucker Brook area. I don't know how we pull it out and give it to ourselves. That's the question,
so there's money in the capital
correct, there's money in the Sucker Brook capital
that
project.
came from,
The city, the town jointly put it
Okay.
together.
So we're saying the excavator is gonna be working. on
Yeah,
Sucker Brook.
Sucker Brook,
$25,000 worth of.
so that would
Yeah.
just, it would just be. It would just be a transfer out of. It'd be an interfund transfer out of the capital project and into the appropriate. Revenue line that it.
which would be the D line, because we were using this money to offset the cost of the new excavator we bought.
Yeah, I think I have to see what. Where we accounted for it in the revenue lines. But yeah, it's, so, yeah, we would, that's how it would work, we just do interfund transfer.
Who's holding this money now? Kevin?
Yes,
But this transfer you're talking about. That's something that we have control of.
that's right, yeah, 25,000. Or if the town board decides to take all of it,
We have it,
we have the money,
but
we have that 25,000.
It's just earmarked for Sucker Brook projects.
Right.
but you wanna use it to offset the cost of the.
Well, that's what is being proposed to
Yeah.
do from Kevin, so, yes.
I guess too, we gotta look at. There's a little more to do with it, you gotta look at how the capital project was created. For spending the money and.
Okay.
Something up there it is, it's got 198,409 in there. Yeah,
I'm still confused.
$140,000.
Are we trying to get from Kevin?
Yeah,
That's 25 grand you already had,
Okay,
it's just. Not in the right bucket.
well, the 25,000 is not in the right. bucket,
Right.
correct.
Yeah. So it's 115 we're trying to get from Kevin,
Well, yes,
Minus 35 from that.
minus 35,
right,
alright, I think I'm with you.
okay.
So it's 65 really that we're looking to get from Kevin now, right? 20, 50 and then no,
30,
75.
75,
Yeah.
well,
35 and 25 are out. So that's
Right.
60,
Right.
so we're trying to get 80,000 from.
well, the goal is to get
135.
Well,
Oh,
to get
right.
about
Excavator, yeah.
25 of it is a transfer that
Okay.
can be made
so-
internally.
so
Right.
we budgeted.
So that's 115, we still have to receive from Kevin. If you take out 25,
Well, the 35 though, you say is,
well, the 35 above, eventually will get paid out of the way.
oh, okay. But right
The
now,
question would be is, would you then wanna take that out of the Sucker Brook, instead of paying 25? Take that money out of the Sucker Brook, and then when that money comes in, you can put it back in the Sucker Brook.
I don't know how it's written in the capital project,
Right,
like how it's set up,
right.
so.
Kevin owes us a lot of money.
Kevin knows a
Period.
lot.
So he's gonna get the excavator or the watershed's gonna,
You
and
got
and
that.
you have an estimated,
So we had the excavator.
So we,
no, they're gonna take it eventually.
Well, it's gonna be here, but it's gonna be owned by the watershed.
But
And
Jim's
as
financial
value-
plan, when he bought the new excavator, was planning on getting
One
the Sucker
side, yeah.
40
One
instead of
40.
20.
So keep the keys locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, don't let him take it, and then he pays his bill.
Well,
I
But
mean,
the
Kevin,
value of that excavator is 135K.
the trading value was 140,000.
Okay, 130.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, but I
yeah,
see this at the
That-
top.
yeah.
Okay, so at some point, he's gotta make up that 140, that's right.
Right. So
And it could be over time.
it could be over time.
but he's
They're
got,
not gonna-
He's got money,
he owes us,
correct.
why doesn't he pay it? Cause you Kevin.
We don't ask them probably, you know?
Well, I think you've asked, haven't you?
I've asked and. I want to bring it to the public work, your guys' attention, because I don't know what it's gonna do at the end of the year to our revenue we thought we're getting. Now, we have other revenue that we're gonna get from Happiest House here also. I don't know if it's gonna come in by the end of December or the first of next year, but for that stormwater work, we just.
Should we invite Kevin to our next meeting?
Uh,
Our board meeting.
so we have in our revenue. For 2025, 142,500 in our sale of equipment line,
How much was it, Jim?
142,500.
We brought in.
We have brought in 62,000 so far from your sale of equipment. Yeah, we brought in 62,525. And that's just the sale that your
2 pickup,
2007 Mac
yep, oh, yeah, the Mac,
and.
should be 2 pickups, a 1-ton, all backhoe. Anyways,
Yeah,
You
but
know-
so we're not too far off.
how
So
much we gotta still bring on 60, 70?
79,975.
Okay, so Kevin could I'll say the 20, 40. 70. If you get the 25 to 20 to 30 to 15 to us this year, we'll be okay.
We also had a line for rental of equipment, 25,000. I don't know what that.
That might be
Hasn't
when,
gone to two yet.
I don't know about that either, because we haven't rented per se to them. We've rented equipment, we haven't rented to them.
Two. Yeah, sure.
So
Who pays for maintenance on that? Are we gonna?
we're paying for the maintenance on this because
Yeah.
when it's not being used, we can use it as we choose to.
Yes.
So,
Okay,
yes,
so it's not their dedicated next.
correct.
Right.
It's just here.
It's here.
They're used as
they
needed.
Needed and.
And this way we would not charge them per hour like we had in the past.
We truck it wherever.
And we truck it
Yeah.
over.
Well, this is from Kevin.
That's from Kevin.
When did you get it from Kevin?
I don't know.
I know data.
Look, oh, I didn't print off everything, I'm sorry. Probably a month ago.
Well, Kevin's saying I owe you this money.
Yep.
Well,
About 13,000. Oh,
That's why I said maybe we should invite him to the next town board meeting and ask him a question in public. To get him to pay. I mean. Kevin's great and all that stuff. We've always cooperated very well with Kevin, he's worked very well with us. But we all know.
We need some Benjamin, is what you're saying.
Man, we did you a favor by
Yeah.
taking this on.
Right,
The town did not have to do this. So,
great.
yeah,
So we're at about just over 12,000 for combined the rental of labor and equipment.
Okay.
And we budgeted 25, so we're still short in that too.
Alright.
So throw some more into that. to make it-
Well, we got happiness house down, money will come back for us for that, because we are renting our equipment down there that we'll get reimbursed for. It's like 100 and some odd thousand.
Oh,
well, you're the principal contact, so you give them two choices. Work it over or come to a meeting and defend why, or tell us when, not
Right.
defend, but.
We just need a date, we need a time when the check's gonna hit us,
Yeah.
right?
Before,
Before the end of the year.
Okay,
Okay,
alright,
let's do that.
that's all I have.
Well, number 9, water master plan report, we already talked
We
about.
already talked about that, another twice.
See, I thought we would talk about it at the end.
It's so important that we put it on twice.
I said, no hurry getting the, order. Up there at the bottom.
Second Point Road, guys, the last communication we had is, the letting's gonna be in December. So that's their plan right now, like Robbie's the lead on that one, so, they're working with John Harmon.
Marvin.
Yeah, from the DOT, so,
I did reach out to Brad again,
okay,
nudge him,
like, hey, yeah,
it's
it's getting more real, Brad.
yeah, so.
Yeah, he's gotta be a little more definitive in how he wants to do the electrical bypass, so. I think that's all the main items, right, that's really.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick about the water, we've been fixing stuff a lot lately for fire hydrants and stuff, and it's worn out. Their valves are worn out, bolts are worn out, hydrants are worn out, it's just ongoing, when we get touching stuff, it's just not great.
How long has that stuff been in the ground? 40, 50 years?
4 years.
It also depends on like at the time when we were building it, like what the materials we're using, so I think we've evolved our standards, we're using the blue bolts now, like all this stuff. Like the more recent stuff will last longer,
Right.
Cause there are sections of the system that I remember when it was going in, I think we were just using like 410 volts, stuff like that, so. Those have a limited shelf life, particularly in the service conditions they're in.
One area that I'll try and work on more for valves, mainline valves especially, is 5 and 20 west. Whenever we have a problem out there, we shut off a lot of people. So there's inserter valves, they're about 8,000 a piece to put in. But when we shut down 5 and 20, we shut down East Bloomfield.
Yeah.
There's no other interconnection.
But there's also might be something in here about. Saying that there should be another interconnection, but I mean, Bloomfield needs to take the lead on that, I mean.
So. It's
Oh,
just,
and a lot of these lines were put in the ground 50 years ago. People weren't thinking, gee, 50 years, somebody's gonna have to,
right,
I would just wonder, you know, just from a philosophical standpoint, the cost. At that time of doing this work. Is a percentage of whatever versus now, replacement costs are just high. That 50 miles of ACP pipe we have in the ground, to replace all that over time?
Yeah.
This town can't afford it. I don't think there's nothing.
Well, back then, Terry, they probably did the same thing where they just,
It's expensive.
they
back
kicked the
then.
can down the road so that. Their 10-cent tax rate at the time wasn't, you know.
So, I mean, again, the key element that's in here, it's from the last master plan to this master plan is still the recommendation of replacing 1% of your distribution system annually. Like, if you don't do that, then you run into this situation. It's all deferred maintenance, is basically what it turns into.
Right.
So,
Which is
and
tough to master.
it's not just you guys, I'm not, like,
Oh, no.
I mean, Farmington's, you see on their end, they're dealing with it too, like, they've got so much cast iron main that they gotta
Well,
replace.
it's a national issue,
Yeah.
bridges and
Yeah, it's all over the
highways,
place.
you know. It's-
So it's just, that's the nature of the business, anything you put in the ground, eventually it's gotta get replaced.
and
So,
then
Gotta
how
figure out how to
that's
deal
all
with
is,
how it
you know,
actually
yeah.
costs.
heat it up.
and you guys
No
have
cost.
some really hot soil areas, like really aggressive soil.
pH could
we
be-
do have aggressive soil,
Yeah,
Terry's like it's 5, 6, 2 high banks of the T. When we replace a hydrant, the T valve is around $9,000. Just to do one hydrant.
yeah, we just priced it up for like Hickox Road.
Yeah.
We were looking at that, I was kind of shocked, I was like, man, I'm coming up with like almost $8,000 of just materials, and that's not cutting them in.
And the materials now, the brass materials are out of sight right
I did some doubled since I started.
Yeah,
now. Getting brass fitting, anything brass right now is miserable.
I had opened up an old PER and it was like, it had like a hydrant in there for $3 grand. I was like, wow. That was so nice.
People are stealing brass, holders, if you will, for flags and cemeteries.
Yeah.
Melting them down, you know, I mean, it. You know, insane time.
Did he do an autopsy on their brake this week? What cost it? or-
If they did, I haven't heard anything.
Probably age.
Yeah, it's old.
First thing I thought of, yeah, was.
It's
I'm
cast.
breaking down too. you
Well, she
know.
played, no, I didn't think you.
Trust me, like, anyone who's got cast iron, man, that's a ticking time bomb, yeah.
So,
Just as it ages, it gets brittle.
yeah. One of the adjourn.
Unless anybody's got anything else, we got 20 minutes to go. The thing said 10 to 12.
That's
Oh,
all you.
yes.
I'm done.
I'm good, Terry.
Done, adjourned.
The
All
county
paper
solid
stuff.
waste draft is out. Have you looked at it at all?
I have not, I wanna look at it. Is it,
Not too detailed.
no,
No, it's all.
Again.
Because they don't have it.